Fancy from the top, cozy party in the bottom. Hopefully that doesn't catch on fire. Okay. Gotta cross my legs. So, always a little bit strange to a camera, not to a person. But when it starts rolling, it starts rolling. So, I had an idea to focus on conscious politics. Some people call conscious politics integral politics. Just for the sake of right now, I'm going to call it conscious politics. So, I'm just going to jump right into it, honestly. You can see that the leaders, no matter where in the world, are motivated by a few things. One of those things is money, of course. That's pretty obvious. And it's not inherently bad having an emphasis on money. When it becomes bad, and by bad I mean, out of alignment, becomes the dominating factor, that's when things start to, not evolve for the highest benefit of all beings. So when money is the primary focus of the whole entire political climate, let's focus the whole political climate just onto one person. I just want to use the American politics as an example, just because it's something I know very well, and it's an easy reference point universally, actually. So using Trump as an example, he has a really amazing intelligence of money. He has a lot of money. He uses money and he's manipulative with it, and he knows how to use money in many different capacities. Are they always the highest benefit to all beings? Of course not. That's another factor reflecting his entire, self. How you are manifesting as a self is manifesting as how you're using money as another version of yourself, because life is fractals. So, yeah, obviously he's not using it in the highest manifestation, but that's not the main point. The main point is that I'm not American, I'm Canadian, but as America, the value system is of money. So we can appoint somebody into power who has no idea, about a lot of other things. Okay? No idea about awakening. No idea about how integral it is to have supportive pregnancies, how important it is to have movement work as a part of your developing society and school system, how important it is to have things like reflective communication or nonviolent communication or conscious communication taught. He's lacking in a lot of other areas, right? And areas that make him seem, when people say he's a dumb person, I was gonna say dumbass, when he's a dumbass, it's because, he's failing in all of those other areas that are really necessary for healthy human society development. He is only an expert in one field, and in fact, he's only an expert in one duality, not even one duality, probably one sliver of the field of money. And it's kind of that stage red, self-focused, me-centered side. So yeah, I really like the idea that they have going on in Switzerland of a multi-person democracy. So it's not one person in charge of making decisions in the political scheme, it's multiple people. That's definitely the right idea. They don't always execute it properly. Trust me, I live there. But it's the right idea. So basing off of that idea, a more conscious society and a more conscious political system would have multiple people with different strains of intelligence as the leaders of the country. And I actually don't even think it should be 10 people. I think it should be, in an ideal society, it's like a large amount. But, you know, how many forms of intelligence are there? There's kind of an infinite amount of forms of intelligence. So let's just say for a country, not the size of the United States, but maybe a country the size of Switzerland, I think 30 people would be optimal to be those people in charge of, democratic voting. Okay? Another thing about Switzerland is that if a bill or a law needs to be passed, a letter goes around to the people. They have to sign it, approve it. If they collect a certain amount of signatures, then that law or whatever was being discussed can come to pass. Okay? That's like true democracy. Not happening in my countries. My country, not countries. I say countries because I'm kind of talking for Canada, America, Central, South America, all the Americas. So, not happening in my countries. Yeah, but back to the 30 people being in charge. I do mean in charge. I don't mean to put quotes. It's just that there's like equal amount of in charge. Okay, so one person on this, let's say it's a council of people. It's like the American Government Council instead of the American President. It's like the American Government Council. This would be like in a more developed society. Let's say there's 30 of them. One person focuses. They're like there because they're like amazing at communication. They're like the communication expert. We kind of do have that a little bit, but they're not always like our communication experts in America and Canada. It's not reflective communication. It's not nonviolent communication. It's not any kind of healthy communication. So anyways, one person could be in charge of like communication. Another person is in charge of like animal intelligence. Yeah, and animal intelligence is important to society. Another person is in charge of engineering intelligence. And engineering is a huge, vast thing. There could be like 5 people within that one engineering intelligence. Someone for mathematical, someone for scientific, someone for some other kind of somatic, some like movement, someone with a specialty in children, someone with a specialty in elderly, somebody with a specialty in experiencing homelessness or experiencing mental illness, somebody with an expertise in how to have a heart awakening, someone with expertise in how to have a body awakening, someone expertise in how to have a mind awakening, someone expertise about money, somebody an expertise about how to have a home, how to raise children. Endless. I just said some recent things that were coming into my mind, but there's endless. There could at minimum be a government council of 30 people that together, and you think like that would never work. People would never cooperate. Not right now, not in these level of developments. And if you're familiar with spiral dynamics or something like that, not within tier 1 development. Not within tier 1 development, you're absolutely spot on, you're right. But within tier 2 development, it is possible. It is possible to have 30 people all assisting each other. And those 30 people, they're not even the end decision. They're the ones that are like working all together. It should be more than 30 people. It is more than 30 people. It's like a fractal. It's like everything else. Like let's say one person is in charge of like the arts and the integrity of arts within the country. That one person has like another like group council that they equally trust of all the other people who are brilliant minds, brilliant hearts, brilliant embodiments of art, and they all kind of work together. And then one person who's maybe like excellent in communication brings that to the group. But every person, if they allow themselves to fully step into themselves and embody themselves, has 1, 2, maybe even 5 or 6, maybe up to 10 forms of intelligence they really excel at. They have one really huge expertise. One of my expertise expertise is teaching awakening, so Dharma talks, communication about it as well. You know, I want to help people wake up. I want to show people awakening is like for you. It's for you. Who's it for? It's not for you. It's for you. It's for you. So that's what I want to transmit, what I want to bring to society. I'm also an artist. I'm surrounded by art. I have a big expertise in visual. I have a big expertise in movement. I have a big expertise in writing, storytelling. Okay, those are like 5 or 6 of my main expertise. You know, and the more you drop into yourself and be, the more like ways you're going to find yourself as an expert in certain fields. Yeah. And as for the political system, look, I use Trump as the example because he's just a really easy example for me. But everywhere you see just really, we're in a time of unconscious government systems. You know, we're in a time of unconscious political systems. This is the time where conscious politics, I hope this video makes sense, and I hope it's kind of circulated a bit, because even if after many years or when I'm dead, I hope it circulates this type of topic, because it's beyond this level of development Earth is in. But it's necessary for evolution. So I know these are just statements and things I'm saying, but you can wonder to yourself, like, how does this start? How do these things arise? It arises through like more teachings. Like, we need more teachers. I'm just in my 20s, 25, and I've been able to teach this for a few years, since I'm maybe 20, 21 years old. And, you know, in a traditional sense, it's hard for me to put myself into normal, traditional Dharma teaching roles because I'm so young. You know the amount of people that look at me and are like, you could not be a teacher, you're too young. But it takes a second, it takes a moment to be a good teacher in anything. In anything. You unlock like the root of something, and you study that and practice that very deeply for many years. You know, if you're a hockey player at 12, there's amazing hockey players at like 10. If you're an amazing hockey player at like 10 years old, you intuitively unlock like the secrets and like the divine insights of playing hockey. You're 10 years old, you can teach 40-year-old men. And of course, you haven't done all your growing up at 10 years old, so you don't have like all the words, but you can teach it at any age and at any level of development as well. Any level of development can teach you. All of that to say, you're always learning something from someone. So that's just a little side rant. But anyways, no idea what I was saying. Something about teaching, about me teaching, and wanting that as an inspiration for you to, you know, embody within yourself. What are your natural proclivities? What drives you? Okay? And, you know, I got back to the root of the video, which is conscious politics for how do we get from point A to point B? How do we get from this society of this singular kind of dictatorship energy of, it is dictatorship energy. I know it's trying to be democracy, but it's like dictatorship energy. It's like one person, the whole country is subservient, okay? The general energy is dictator energy, like autocratic. It's like, I do this, you obey. There's no collaboration to society. And you get to collaboration in society and this sort of wholeness by, you know, starting with the microcosm. So first of all, there needs to be teachers like myself teaching this sort of information, okay? But then when things start to sprinkle and trickle around like that, physical things in the community opening to help with that wholeness is really important. Like the phone is great, and the YouTube and the digital era is great because I'll reach people all over. But I can start literally like on the ground, because this transmission is like in the sky. It's very air energy. There needs to be ground transmission. You need to bring in stage purple teachings. You need to start to encourage people within your city to maybe, like, let's say I opened a somatic movement center. Okay, I had enough money, I opened a somatic movement center in downtown Toronto. In my somatic movement, I just mean intuitive, true movement patterns to unlock insights, trauma, exploration within the body, right? You do movement pattern, you break through different layers of reality into the infinite deep awakening. So let's say I teach that to people, because that's what I teach. So I open a center, I'm teaching that, and then for every class, the Canadians pay me $25, and at the end of the class, I say, okay, you can donate if you like an extra $3 to a workshop for the homeless, people experiencing homelessness. And people are pretty integral, so they're like, yeah, I'll leave $3, and hopefully by the end of the week, we have enough money to run a small workshop of 5 homeless people, and then maybe next week I do people who are like crack addicts, and the next week I do single mothers who want to kill themselves, and all this stuff. Old people who are scared of death, class role. You bring in people who wouldn't normally like gravitate towards that, okay? So that's how you bring in like other kind of people and expand other people's awareness through like, it's vertical development. You're trying to help them, in their development. And you need some good, strong teachers. Some teachers who are solid in their awakening or solid on their expertise. I'm awake, but I don't have every facet of awakening covered. That's why I have a group of friends. I have a group of like 7 or 8 friends, all at my level of development. They all have different strengths within awakening. One of them is very inner heart awakening, very, very inner heart. I'm more in my mind, maybe you can tell. I'm also in my body, but this one friend, very inner heart. Anyways, I have another friend who's very like in the communication realm. She cuts through. Another friend is very like reaching into the cosmos and like kind of has like this galactic vibe. And one is like he's a guy, and he's grounded, and he's very like body but divine masculine. He's doing things for the embodiment of man. Anyways, I could go. One of my good friends, she's my total mirror. She's like, you're gonna meet her. She's gonna be on the channel. She's like totally like divine feminine awakening. She's got a lot. They all got a lot. I've got a lot. And when we all come together and do teachings, and let's say there was a physical community, let's say a little square building in downtown Toronto, it creates a grid. And I love like the flower of life grid. I wish I had a picture of it. One of my friends has it on her arm, but that flower of life, you can look it up. That there's a single seed where you start your teaching center. This is a single seed too, but let's say you're in a physical ground, you're working with an earth element. You have a center, a healing center, we can call it. It's really an awakening center. It's an embodiment center. Embodiment center is a better word. That seed becomes these little flowers, like a lotus. It gives you little flowers. And those flowers grow flowers. And then it goes on and on and on. And you can look up the flower of life image. And that's how stage stroker societies grow. It's kind of also how stage red societies grow. It's like one terrible little corner causing chaos, murdering, killing, raping people, and then that vibe kind of carries out. So you might wonder like, well then like that's gonna probably just keep continuing, because there's more of that. But this is something you just gotta experience it to believe it. The vibes of stage turquoise are stronger than stage red, and you actually know that, and society deeply knows that at its core. Think about all those like Disney and kid movies you've seen growing up. It's like the evil enemy is always defeated by love because love's more powerful. That's something intrinsically we know. That's why it's so common in society. You see that motif in books. So yeah, that's something you'd have to experience to believe me, but small stage turquoise groups spreading throughout society has a way more powerful radius, an aura, than a stage red society. It's transcend include, by the way. You know that, though. I don't even need to tell you that. You know that. You know all this. You know all this. That's why I'm able to tell you. And I'm glad you understand. I'm really glad you understand. I think that's it for now. And hopefully this recorded. And if it didn't, big tragedy. But that's okay. All right. Enjoy. If you did, good for you. I'm really happy for you, actually. Actually, I could cry how happy I would be if you understand this. I would be so happy. I would be so happy to know you understand this. And that's the goal.